What role does grace play in making it through hard times? Welcome to this, your daily 180 Bible study. We can make it through difficult, trying times if we understand that God is a God of abundant grace. His amazing grace is so good and so amazing, and in the midst of our own wretchedness, He has inexhaustible grace. In Isaiah chapter 6 that we've been looking at, we see in verse 1 is the year that King Uzziah died. We also notice in verse 1 that Isaiah finds himself in the temple and he sees the Lord sitting high and exalted on a throne. And then we see in verses 2 through 4 that he catches a glimpse of the holiness of God, the goodness of God. And then join me at verse number 5 as we look at God's amazing grace. So I said, this is Isaiah speaking, "Woe is me, for I am undone, because I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts." Then one of the seraphim flew to me, having in his hand a live coal, which he had taken with the tongs from the altar. And he touched my mouth with it, and said, "Behold, this has touched your lips. Your iniquity is taken away, and your sin is purged." That's an amazing thing. Number one, I want you to understand something. When we catch a glimpse of the holiness of God, of the goodness of God, we're going to have to look at ourselves for who we are. We are weak, frail people who struggle with sin. And as we catch a glimpse of reality, that humility that should overwhelm us should also drive us to God and make us realize how much we need Him. You know, it's an amazing thing over in 1 Timothy chapter 1, verse number 15. Paul, the Apostle Paul, would, by inspiration, write these words, "This is a faithful saying, and worthy of all acceptance, that Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom I am chief." Now, I know that every word in the Bible is inspired by God, and it's right. But I have a little problem with that verse. I find myself wanting to argue with Paul and say, "I'm not sure about that, Paul. I think maybe I'm the chief of sinners." But this I know for sure. His grace reaches me, and it can reach you in the most difficult, turbulent times of life. Because of that, we can have confidence. Join us again tomorrow.